Hey guys, this is Nicole. This is going to be my super high-end video telling you about 360 breathing. Yes, diaper boxes in the background. We're doing this during nap time. So I wanted to talk a little bit about 360 breathing today. And for those of you that come into my classes, I'm always talking about 360 breathing, right? Expand sideways, forward, back. But I guess I've never explained a lot about why. So what happens is that a lot of times you just breathe out your belly, right? You either breathe up into your neck, and that creates a lot of tension here, or you breathe out into your belly. What that stops your body from doing is having a full breath up and down. So your epiglottis in your neck, your diaphragm here, and your pelvic floor all move up and down together, okay? So when one of them is not quite moving properly, so think about when you're doing core training, if you're trying to exhale and inhale, if you're not inhaling down, you're not coordinating your pelvic floor, so you're not going to have all the same strength. So core-wise, if you're not doing 360 breathing, you're not going to have as much strength. If you're doing that shallow breathing pattern and your shoulders are just going up and down, that creates a lot of tension here. So by breathing down, you kind of activate that parasympathetic nervous system, right? That rest and digest part of your body versus fight and flight. If you stay in that shallow breathing pattern, it's signaling to your brain, I need to stay anxious. I need to, run away from tigers in the jungle, that kind of things. We want to get into that rest and digest phase. 360 breathing helps with that. It's going to help with your posture. You're going to lift taller because you're going to have more core strength, right? And if you've got any kind of pelvic floor stuff going on, this is the way you strengthen your pelvic floor. It's not Kegels, it's not that kind of stuff. It's getting your diaphragm moving up and down, which will make your pelvic floor move up and down and strengthen just through breathing. So you're strengthening your pelvic floor with breathing. So that's the why I care about 360 breathing. So you're like, I'm in, cool. How? So it's very difficult the first few times you do this to do it in a seated position. So I'm going to give you a couple other tricks. And what we're doing with these tricks is I want you to start feeling your ribs expanding in and out and your back expanding. And it might take a few tricks, okay? So one thing you can do is get a yoga block. So whether you're lying on your back and doing breathing, or you come into an all fours position, and you can try it if you've got a yoga block at home, you want to add a little tension in the yoga block, okay? So you're in that tripod position, right? And you're not sinking, you're not rounding, you're finding that nice long position. And watch my shoulders. Rather than having them dropped, you kind of push through your shoulders and tuck your tailbone a little bit, squeezing that block. From that position, now try taking a deep breath. And when you breathe, think about a balloon. Like this is the top of the balloon, and you're breathing all the way down and back and out. So take a deep breath. Keep going, and then fully exhale. And keep pulling your ribs up and in. So your ribs are closing and pulling in, but they're not gripping. And it takes some practice to do a big full breath and not grip your abs, especially as you're doing that forced exhale. So that little pressure on the block is going to help you get the back expansion. Another way, if you're like, well, I felt the back kind of move on that one, but I'm still not feeling my ribs, you can lie on your side to do this. So you can take a block, all right, and you lay on your side and you tuck your knees and you squeeze your block a little bit. And then put your hand on your ribs. And I know there's squishy stuff, me too. So don't worry about it. And now try tucking your tailbone again. And then take a deep breath into your sides and back and see if you can lift your hand and then pull it back in. So you take a deep inhale. In. Feel your ribs move. And as you exhale, even take your hand and even push your ribs in a little bit, just so you can feel how it lifts up and it comes down. And if you haven't been doing 360 breathing, you're not going to feel a lot move. It takes a lot of practice to feel it start to expand, because everything in the front is nice and loose. It just wants to blow out the front, right? So you need to kind of force it up into the side and then pull it back in, doing it on both sides. If you're like, I still don't get it, I still don't feel it, I have one more trick for you. And if you don't have a big ball at home, you can use one at Fort Ritchie, right, when we come to a class. If you come to my classes, we do this. You're going to lay on a ball. And I don't want you back here or kind of falling off the front of it. Find that spot in the middle where, look, my knees are kind of off the ground and I'm slumping around it. I'm rolling around it. My head, neck, and shoulders are loose. Everything's loose. There's no pressure in the back or on the elbows. Tuck your chin and now try taking that big 360 breath. And because the ball's here, it can't go to the front. It's all gonna go out the back and the sides. And this might be a little uncomfortable the first time you try it, okay? So take a deep breath. Hold it and let it go. So you keep exhaling until you don't have anything left. So the first time you try this, people often start to figure out the back expansion. They're going to feel like some pulling up here and they'll be like, ow, 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 ow. It's because you're really tight. All the muscles, the intercostal muscles between your ribs aren't used to moving if you've been doing shallow breathing. So the first couple times you inhale like that, really inhale and keep going, it's going to hurt a little bit while those muscles stretch and get used to it. And then when you exhale, like that ha breathing, right? Letting it all out without gripping your muscles. So I like the ball because it allows me to get that back body expansion without gripping my abs, right? So give it a try on the ball next time. And then once you've practiced some of these things, it starts to get a little easier to do that big breathing when you're just lying on your back. So sometimes I'm telling folks to do 360 breathing when we're sitting or lying down. Sitting's the hardest. So I'd recommend lying down first to try it, right? And maybe you squeeze that block, hands on your rib, pull it all in, and then progress yourself to the sideline and the ball, and eventually you can have a seat and give a try. That's sitting softly, hands wherever they're comfortable, and make sure, watch, you can even record yourself to watch if your shoulders are coming up. You take that big breath. So I don't know if you were watching when I did it. You saw my bottom belly just didn't pop out. All this kind of went like this, like an accordion, and then pulled and drew back in. So this might be more than you ever wanted to know about 360 breathing, but I wanted to show it from a lot of different angles. This has just been amazing for me for helping with my back pain and releasing my shoulders, for coordinating my pelvic floor and that strength, especially postpartum. And, you know, even if you had your baby 20, 30, 40 years ago, that might have never been repaired. And men, you have a pelvic floor too, and it matters. So think about continence. It's connected to continence and being able to hold your pee. So there's a lot of benefits for getting that coordination for our men as well. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer them.